This video is going to walk you through how to make a vector pet portrait of a chosen pet, and we are currently looking at the Paws and Claws link here, and this is our local Humane Society where we're able to check out the adoptable cats and dogs, and you can click on either one, cats or dogs. And my rule in my class is that you, if you pick one, like let's say I pick Bo here, I'm going to write his name on the whiteboard, so then no one else will be able to pick Bo. So double check the whiteboard before you select your animal. In Adobe Illustrator, I have one set up here, and you can kind of see how I used the pen tool to create all of these different layers. I also used the brush tool for certain areas where it made more sense to use the brush instead of the pen tool. And I've also used some gradients in here. So I'm going to show you all of those things and how to do them and how to get started in Illustrator. First things first, you're going to find your animal. In this case, I'm going to just use the same dog that I have, but I can show you kind of how to click on the animal, and you can click through. Sometimes there's different photos of the animal included. There's some really cute ones. And my other tip is that instead of trying to recreate the entire body, we're really just going to focus on the head of the animal, and then if there's any like neck or chin and maybe a little bit of the chest area, but we are not necessarily going to do the entire animal, because sometimes when you're trying to go over all of these shapes with your pen tool, it can look kind of strange and funny. So we're going to be kind of artistic about this, and we're just going to focus more on the face. So I'll show you really quick with this cat here. We're going to right click on the image and say Save Image As. It's not a bad idea to put the name in there. So her name is CC, but again, it'll depend on the name of the animal you choose. And then when you're ready, you will go into Adobe Illustrator and you will go to File Open, or just Open, and you'll open up that image. Okay, so once you have it in there, it's a good idea to also lock that image. So I'll zoom in just to show you. I'm zooming in with my magnifying glass, and I'm going to lock this layer. So right in this little blank space, we're going to lock, and then this way you're not able to move or draw on this layer, and we're going to make a new layer. So we're working from layer 2, and we'll get started. I'm actually going to just show you with this cat because it's a good example of how to do a variety of different colors, and I think that's a good place to start. So my first step of the process is to find the big shapes. So big shapes are definitely going to be like starting with the face. Looking at it, I would say probably starting with a gray color. Even though there is some white here, I'm going to put in the white later. I'm going to start with gray, and I can always go in and add my orange and my black as needed. So I'm going to find my eyedropper tool. Eyedropper is right here. Go ahead and click on, trying to find that gray, middle gray color. Kind of that color. That looks good, and I can always change that later. And now I'm using my pen tool to trace over the top of the cat's head and the ears. Again, clicking and holding and dragging to make those curves, and then just clicking to make the straight edges. So most of this is curved, but there's a few straight edges in here, and I'm just doing the face. I'm not going to worry about the whiskers. Just kind of doing the outline. I'll do the chin here too, because we're just doing the big shapes first. So big shapes first, then as we go, it'll be smaller and smaller shapes. Now, obviously, I don't want to take up too much of your time with this demonstration, so I'm only going to show you part. If you ever get stuck like this, let me zoom in so you can see. Sometimes students get stuck like this, and they're like, wait, how do I get out of that? You just have to click on that point, and then it'll let you continue onward. And then if you can't see what you're tracing, again, sometimes just dropping that opacity down ever so slightly can help. And that looks pretty good. And then don't forget to bring that opacity back up. You don't want to leave that down. Okay, so I have the major shapes down. I'll go over to my layers. I'm going to show you how this works. So over here, there's this little arrow, and we're going to click on the arrow. That path that we just made is the head. So I'm going to turn that layer off. I'm going to leave that top one on, but I'm going to turn that one off so I can see what next piece I'm going to do. I'm going to do the white area next. So instead of just clicking and selecting white from here, I am going to use the eyedropper. So eyedropper again, I'll select this white. Notice how it's not actually pure white. It's kind of an off-white. And I'm going to click and create that white layer. Again, being artistic with it, so you can kind of select the areas that make the most sense. Like here, it's kind of jagged. I know it does kind of fade out a little bit, but I'm just tracing over all of the white for the most part within reason. It's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Now we're going around. I think I'll just kind of go this way, and then I'll do a separate shape for the chin. Let's just go all the way this way. I'm going to make this a little bit more transparent so I can see where I'm tracing. There we go. And click on that last point, bring the opacity back up. And now I'll turn on that other layer, and you can see we're already starting to build the shapes that we need. Next, I'm going to show you the eye, and I'll also show you how to adjust layers as needed. So I'm going to grab my eyedropper here. Let's start with the black of the eye. So I'm going to start with black, and we're going to create this circle with the pen tool here. It's going to kind of cover up the eye, and that's okay. And that's actually pretty good. All right, I'll turn off that layer so now I can see the next color. I'm going to grab that eyedropper. Let's grab some green, that greenish color. Sometimes with the eyes, I do like to bump up the color a little bit. So if you do want to adjust it a little bit, feel free to like bump up the vibrance, or you can kind of adjust it if you need to. Don't go too crazy with it though. Okay, here is the colorful part of the eye. And there is a little bit of a gradient in there, so we'll talk about that as well. And we'll go right about there. Okay, so I'll turn that off. I'll show you the gradient in a minute. Next up, we have the pupil. I'll select the pupil, color, and this will kind of blend in with that black outline, which is fine. And last but not least, we have our highlight, and this is where we're going to use the brush. So I'm going to click on the brush. A lot of times it's going to give you this little like nose symbol. That means we have to make a brush. If you don't see your brushes panel that looks like this, sometimes it's off to the side, you can go to Window and then Brushes, or press F5 on your keyboard. We're going to click on the plus sign here. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to make a brush. I'm going to do 1 point, but you could even go smaller than that. I'll click OK. And I'm going to select white as my stroke color because that is pure white. You could sample the color, but I know that highlight is white. And then I'll just go ahead and draw this little highlight. There's actually 2 of them there, and there isn't really a highlight over here aside from this little bit of a white edge. Now I'm going to turn all of these on. I'm just clicking and holding in this space to turn all of the eye icons on. And you can see there's my first eye. And from here I could make those adjustments. So I know I'm going to use this direct selection tool right here, the little filled in white arrow. I know that this connects with that black because if I turn those off and we look at the bottom layer, like there's no gap in between the pupil and the outline of the eye. So you want to be careful and kind of double check your reference as you're working so you don't get too far off. So I'm just going to drag this up so it matches up, with that eye. It's a little closer there. And that's actually not too bad. These areas look pretty good. I don't think I need much adjustment. A little bit of adjustment over here though, for sure. Like I'm going to have to click on this one and maybe pull this one. Whoops. Oh my gosh. Double click on it on the point with that direct selection tool so I can match up with that edge. That's pretty good. It's a little better. Okay. All right. Next up, I'm going to show you gradients, and we're going to do a gradient on this green eye. So when we look at, I'll turn all this off again. When you look at the eye, it's got kind of a lighter green outer edge, and then it kind of fades as it goes inwards or upwards. So I'm going to play with that a little bit. And we're going to grab the eye, we're going to go to properties, I'm going to click on the fill, and we're going to choose a gradient fill. And all you have to do is just click on that gradient and it'll apply it. And already that's looking pretty good actually. If you want to play with the colors though, you're going to double click on those points. And here's where you can kind of customize a little bit and play around with the colors. You can adjust, a little more red or a little more lighter. I'm going to go a little bit more yellow there. Just goes a little more yellow. And then this color, we're going to go a little more green. And I can always use, we're going to go dark green here, or like a hunter green. Yeah, that's pretty good. You can always use the reference to kind of refer to that. Now this is more of a linear gradient, so I'm going to actually change it to a radial and we'll see what this looks like. I actually kind of like that, except the lighter part is in the middle, so we need to reverse these. So I'm just going to pull this one over here, pull this one over here. We're just going to reverse that. And I might actually make this a little darker in the middle. You can also play around with the placement of all of that too. I actually really like that. I think that's really good. You can edit the gradient this way as well by just moving the pieces. So I can kind of mess around with, where do I want the darkest area? I kind of want it more towards the top. And I might expand that out a little bit too. There we go, something like that. I like that. Now is a great time to save your work. So we're going to do File, Save, and I'll say Save on Computer. And we'll call it CC, that's fine. We'll click Save, click OK. We're saving it as an AI file so we can keep coming back to work on it. Eventually, you're going to build all of these layers up, and we will turn off that background, and you'll have all of your pieces together. And it's not a bad idea to do this frequently every so often. Like I can already see over here, there's this weird gap. So I know I would have to use that direct selection tool to kind of fix that gap, cover up that edge, so I don't have any weird gaps or like holes in my design. Last but not least, I am going to talk a little bit about fur. So I'm going to turn on that reference. So we have some whiskers here. I am going to use the brush tool for that, and you could use the drawing tablet. I am just going to show you really quick kind of how that works. For whatever reason, some students were having issues with pen pressure, so I'll just show you without pen pressure, but you could use the drawing tablet for that. I'm going to use this off-white, I think, for the whiskers here, and I'll just kind of show you really quick with the brush. So it's set up as a one-point brush. We'll kind of click and just drag, do something like that. The other thing, too, is you could set it up as a brush with random size here. So mine has pressure, but random. I'll just do like 1 point. Well, we'll do 1 point here, and then it'll be a 1 point variation. I'll show you how that works. So click, that's thick, thin, thick. It kind of just does random hair. So if you kind of want random thicknesses, that's kind of a quick way to do that. I'll show you really quick, though, how to adjust that. We're going to do a little bit like this. If we click on the stroke here, we'll go to properties, and you can drop down the stroke like so. So if you click on your line, you can reduce the stroke as much as you need to. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn all these layers back on. And you can see how I've made the little whiskers. Now, whiskers and hair, fur texture, those all come later. Okay? Don't forget to save your work. And then you can come back and continue working on it.